Let's talk about defensemen. And this one seemed like a slam dunk until the other votes came in. Still holding on to it. Defensive Player of the Year, Jeremy Gervais.
And really, you can't go wrong. Top point getter on the year. 15 goals, 34 assists, 49 points. Just a rock on that Caribou Cougars defense. And really, when you have a player that is just a solid two-way defenseman, it really opens up a lot of doors for the rest of the teams. That good first pass, getting the puck up the ice, and then being able to find players on the power play as well and chip in with a timely goal.
And you know what? You're saying all the right things right now, Jared. I think I was talking to Cole Waldy on that bus ride back home, and he's telling me Jeremy Gervais should be a candidate for MVP of the league. And I went, whoa, that's high praise for, a defenseman in this league. And he goes, you don't understand, Chase. It's the little things that he does. I mean, without him, we wouldn't be first place in the season. Without him, I mean, we probably wouldn't be winning the BC Midget League Championship either. It's the things that he does in the power play. It's the things he does in the back end. It's the things he does in the locker room that makes him the player that he is. And I would be stunned right now if he doesn't end up playing competitive junior next year, whether it's in the BCHL or the WHL. He deserves to be there. He does everything correct. But let's get to the honorable mentions, and there is a lot of them, Jared.
It's a pretty long list, but obviously I got to give a shout out to my boy, Jonny Sheardown of the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs. Led the league in goals by defensemen with 17, 23 assists on the year for 40 points. And really, last year he was known as kind of the offensive stud, but this year, he also proved he could still bring the offensive game, but throughout the year, his defensive game really rounded out. He was always willing to jump up in the rush, but sometimes the first guy back was also Jonny Sheardown.
And that was one of the things Jonny Sheardown got to rely on last year, is that he was paired up with Ian MacDonald. This year, I believe he was paired up with Giuliano Santalucia. He needs to come back as well as play offensive defenseman like he was used to last year. So he was playing both ways, and that's one of the things is he slowly turned into that number one defenseman on that team. He seemed to be that offensive dynamo last year. This year, he turns out to be the complete package. Is he one of those unlisted players on the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs?
It's a puzzle, but yes, he is. I don't know how he's managed to slip by WHL and BCHL scouts, but if you haven't seen any tape on Jonny Sheardown, make sure you get a hold of some, because he's a quality defenseman, put up points, puts up goals, and he's got a lot of compete in him.
A couple other guys that got some love around the league. The Okanagan Rockets' Wyatt Head, one of the better power play quarterbacks in the league. Looking elsewhere, Gianni Fairbrother. You won't see him too often on the score sheet for Defensive Player of the Year, but he was doing everything right and making, similar to Jeremy Gervais actually, making the players around him better. So big shout out. Defensive Player of the Year, Jeremy Gervais, and of course the honorably mentioned going along that way.